On your live stream, and it says we are live. So any second now, let me know when you see that we are live. We should be, but
Yep, we're live.
hey guys, we're live. Woo! So real quick before we get started, and Deej didn't know I was going to do this, but this is really silly, but I have to tell you this. Deej, you won't be able to see this in the StreamYard, but you'll be able to see it on the live stream itself. I had to, and this is personal, deeply personal stuff here, but today I had to remove the coverings from the surgical incisions from my gallbladder surgery, which is a very painful thing to do and something that typical, if you've ever had surgery, a couple weeks after you have to do that, make sure there's no signs of infection or anything like that. And I found that I am the chosen one within the nerd community because, yes, indeed, I'm going to show you my surgical scar up close and personal. This is not a doctored image. I swear to you, this is absolutely legitimate. My surgical scar from my gallbladder surgery, not in any way, shape, or form changed. Here it is, right there. That is actually on my body. Yes, that is the surgical scar. If you need a slight digital enhancement, here you go. There's the slight digital enhancement. I'll take off the digital enhancement, put it back on, take it off, put it back on. You can kind of see. So, yes, much like the Harry Potter scar, I am clearly the chosen one. Don't ever let it be said that I'm not. And I just, when I saw that, I literally busted out laughing the second I pulled off the... All right, so...
he has a little enterprise, folks.
I do. I actually
a little
do.
one.
All right, so... very exciting show to talk about today. So we have two biggies today, and a couple of littlies. So do you want to get right into the big stuff, or do you want to talk about the little news stuff first?
Let's hit the little stuff first this time because that'll give more time for the people to come in to see the big stuff.
Fair enough. So little stuff. Let's talk about the Star Trek film that's supposed to come out in 2023, if I remember correctly. So we have a director.
Yep, Matt Schickman.
Yeah, and now Mr. Schickman directed some of WandaVision. He also directed some Game of Thrones and a whole bunch of TV and streaming stuff. Some known for its quality. He directed some of The Boys. He's directed some stuff that's known for its quality. Some stuff that maybe not so much. But this will be his first feature film, and which makes some people nervous. Honestly, for me, that in and of itself doesn't, because to me, being it's his first feature film, to me says that he'll be hungry, because he'll want to really, really make, it's either going to really suck or really knock it out of the park, because he's going to put everything he's got into it. And so he'll sink or swim on this film. And Mercer, thank you so much, puts a couple of bucks in and says, "Praise Avis, may he cover the loss of my vehicle." Indeed. And so now, as far as, and I know Cinnabon says Burnham the Motion Picture, we still have no idea what this movie's about. Keep in mind, this is just the name of the director. We don't know if this is a Burnham movie, if this is a Kirk movie, if this is a Picard movie. None of that is confirmed. What do you think? Do you think that do you think they're going for a Discovery film? I really don't think they will, but what do you think they're doing?
No, I don't. Well, see, that's hard to tell because in the same article that we read, they listed two directors that really don't have much under their belts.
You mean the writers?
The writers.
Yeah.
The writers don't have much under their belt. Yeah. I'm not even 100% sure if this is even going to happen. I think this might be just all talk.
Yeah, that's looking at it, it's like I'm not willing to bet that when 2023 comes around, we're going to see a movie. Any more than the Tarantino film. I think that this is just. I think there's a lot of talk going on, and maybe they're just trying to see what the fan base reacts with. I would like to see a film, but honestly, at this point, I think that a full-on reboot of the Trek universe is probably in order because it's just such a mess right now. And I know that sounds sacrilegious to some people, but it's like, where do you go with the mess we've got right now?
Besides, they don't even know if the actors are going to come back because most of them are fighting over money.
Yeah. How about we just start over? Just start the whole thing over. Anyway, so that's really the did we have any other small news?
Small news. There wasn't too much totally small news going on this week, and unless you're a person that happens to use PayPal.
That's true.
Next month.
So yeah, PayPal is going to for all the people that, because a lot of YouTube channels depend on PayPal tips, such as what Mercer just did, where Mercer says Deadline announced a new Star Trek film directed by the guy that directed WandaVision earlier today. He put in a PayPal donation to say that, and those donations are going to basically, unfortunately, for people like myself and Bird of Prey 5 and stuff, we're going to have to make it so that instead of a $1 minimum donation, we're going to have to bump it up because PayPal's going to is going to suck the living heck out of those donations.
Now me being not so greedy, I am not going to raise my price, folks. I will keep my $1 minimum.
Yeah, which just means he's not going to get anything when you make a $1 donation.
I'll give 48 cents.
So,
48.
Are you sure about that? No, you're going to get less than that.
No, I'll get 48 cents.
Because you get a full $1 on a Streamlabs donation.
PayPal will take out the.
Because Streamlabs takes a little bit.
Oh no, they don't take any. Only PayPal does, and then it'll be the 48 cents plus 3%. So.
What is it that? Because there's different kinds of donations. I'm trying to think. Anyway, depending on how. Oh, I'm thinking of maybe I'm thinking on Twitch. I don't know. It's but anyway, so. Yeah, so all right. So you can go over to Deej and he'll be nicer.
Yeah, Bird already upped his.
Yeah.
I went to do $1 today and I had to pay $1.49.
So you bumped it up to $1.50 to make up the difference.
He went to $1.49.
Okay. See, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So they made it so it's like a 49-cent premium or something, or 40. What did they do?
It's like 48 cents plus 3%.
Yeah. So, and currently it's just the 3%, right? Or is it?
Well, that also depends upon how you have your PayPal set up, because ones like me and Bird, we had to go through a business because we loaded our stores into them.
Right. I have a business account.
So yeah, the business accounts get whacked harder than just regular PayPal.
Yeah. So it sucks, but yeah, it's part of doing business. So that's coming, which means that a lot of YouTube channels are probably going to be making adjustments like that. It sucks, but it's just what's happening. All right, so let's talk about the big stuff. So, do you want to talk about Black Widow first or Loki first? Which do you want to start with?
We should start with Black Widow.
All right, Black Widow. So Black Widow, the first MCU movie to come out in theaters in a long time. Now, before we get into our review, I found a picture, and I love this picture. Let me see. Let me bring this picture up here on the screen, if I can. Okay, so I know it's kind of hard. I'll just drag this off so we can. Didn't realize I was covering up there. All right, so I'm going to. Where's that stupid folder? I'll bring the folder over here. All right,
Mercer keeps yelling that he left you a tip.
Oh, did he? All right, hold on, Mercer. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Mercer and Joe Biden did, and I am so sorry to both of you. So Mercer said, have you thought about using a Stream Elements for tips? Yes, but Stream Elements actually takes more money from you.
Yep.
So that's just a way to lose even more. I also see, let's see. So Red Hawk also left $3 and said, thanks for the heads up on the PayPal. I'll donate through Streamlabs only. And also Mercer with a $5 super chat saying, I left you a tip. Thank you, Mercer. I appreciate that. And Joe.
See, wait a minute. That's the thing with
Streamlabs also
runs through PayPal.
Yeah, it's funny because it's all, they're going to take their, I will tell you, let me say this, Red Hawk, it's still most efficient to go straight through PayPal. It sucks, but going straight through PayPal is, and thank you for pointing that out.
Well, the thing is, if it's under $3, I would go through the YouTube. If it's over $5, go through Streamlabs PayPal.
Yeah.
That's where the creator's going to get the most money.
Yeah. And Joe Biden with $1 says, hello, George and LTG. How are you? I promised to donate more, but then again, I'm a politician, so I'm lying like always. My new fight is to remove one room from schools. They hurt minority learning. Well, I think they do. Have a good morning. And number 22. Wow. That is a weird one. That's definitely a weird one. And let's see. I didn't mean to turn that back on. All right. So, bunch of weirdos today. All right. So, let me show this picture. We'll have to... All right. We'll put it right below us here. So, this is purely coincidence. This was in my feed just after the movie came out. Where on one side I had Deej ranting about avoiding work because you don't get your way. And then I also had, from Geeks and Gamers, Black Widow, another MCU box office success, but why? He couldn't understand why the movie was a success. Perhaps because, he was avoiding doing work because he wasn't getting his way. So, look, the Phantom Menace just doesn't understand why this movie was successful. And I will give some credit. Look, don't get me wrong. Geeks and Gamers, I'll give him credit. He's not trying to deny that, remember all the conspiracy theories about the success of some of these movies where they were saying that Disney was lying about box office numbers? They're not saying that. He's saying that the movie was a genuine success. And Black Widow doing really well box office wise, and I think deservedly so. It's a fun movie. Is it the best Marvel movie? No. Is it a bad Marvel movie? No. I think it's a middle of the road Marvel movie. That's how I would describe it to people. If you want a good time watching a Marvel adventure, its biggest flaw is that it didn't come out immediately after Civil War. That's my biggest problem with this movie, is that this movie should have come out about 8 years ago. That's really unfortunate that it didn't. And honestly, I think it would have been a huge hit back then. I don't think that the horrible sexist, misogynist people of 2012 or whatever would have rejected this film. I think people would have loved it back then, and I think people love it right now. Scarlett Johansson as the character. She felt right at home. This was not an anti-man movie. This was a movie that dealt with the Red Room, which was a well-established part of her history. This was a movie that, yes, the bad guy was a white male, but you know what? It was the guy that was behind the Red Room, which was also something was already established. And if you knew any of the lore about the Red Room, there's nothing that was changed here. But it was also a movie about family. And I think that they did a really good job with this movie. Post-credit scene was okay. It wasn't spectacular, but the setup for having the new Black Widow going up against Hawkeye, okay. Is that worthy of another feature film? No, I think that's more worthy of a scene in another movie, but we'll see what they do.
Well, no, I think that's all set up for the Hawkeye series.
Yeah, you're probably right. I didn't even think about that. You're probably right. That's probably like she's going to be and the antagonist.
She is listed for the Hawkeye series.
I did not think about that. And yes, Cinnamon, it's a rabid success, worthy of rabid dogs. So what did you think, Mr. Rabid Bunny? What did you think?
I like the first and the second parts of the film. The third one the ending there started getting too ridiculous.
I do think it pushed my suspension of disbelief when they were surviving being in the Red Room being a floating fortress, which I was okay with it being a floating fortress, but as it was breaking up and they were surviving being on it breaking up, it was a bit much.
Parachuting down through all the flying debris. No.
Yeah.
That's idiotic.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I do think people that complain that I don't think the third act completely fell apart, but there were moments when it was like, yeah, they kind of pushed it.
And part of that didn't even make sense. Why would she stick around as S.H.I.E.L.D. showing up there at the end? She should have been the one that took off, and all the other gals should have stuck around.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either, because that seemed a little out of character for Natasha. Natasha would have been like all the other Black Widows would have been like, yeah, you go ahead, we'll handle them. And it's like, and what was Ross gonna do when he's like, yeah, I'm here for Black Widow, and they could all say, yeah, that's us. That would have been a good ending.
So that's where I had the major issues with the end of the movie.
I could see that. But did it break the movie for you? Like, was it an ending that ruined the movie to you?
No, it was an enjoyable movie. I would put it above Captain Marvel, and I would put it above Iron Man 3.
Okay, yeah. Definitely above Captain Marvel. Like I said, I think it's a middle-of-the-road Marvel film. Not one of the lower-tier Marvel films that, like when I think of the lower-tier Marvel films, the ones that you don't necessarily revisit very often, I think, Captain Marvel is down there. Iron Man 3, like you mentioned. I think Incredible Hulk is in the lower tier. I would put this one above those three films. I would probably...
I still put it below Howard the Duck.
Well, you're a weirdo when it comes to Howard the Duck. I don't quite understand that.
Leah Thompson, enough said.
And now Daniel's upset about the Taskmaster thing. So let's talk about the Taskmaster thing. So I didn't care. I'll be completely honest with you. I did not, because here's my thing about gender swaps. If it serves the story, I don't care. And in this particular case, I think it served the story. I think that having the daughter be Natasha's target and then having it be a plot device later on served the story. Taskmaster is not really a character as much as just a plot device. And by the way, Dreamers out there, thank you so much. There was a $5 super chat. Says, I enjoyed the movie. Red Room being a floating fortress was cool. Russian knockoff of S.H.I.E.L.D. Helicarrier area repulsor tech made sense to me. Yeah, and by the way, let me say this. and I don't know if you caught this, Deej, but I loved the foreshadowing of the fact that she was watching Moonraker early in the film.
I'm just sad she never got to finish it.
Yeah, but did you catch that?
Well, I caught it.
Yeah, I absolutely love that she's watching Moonraker, which the floating fortress is very reminiscent of Moonraker base. But anyway, go ahead. So what were your any thoughts on Taskmaster?
Master.
Yeah.
Okay. Gender swap villain. Okay. But they should have just called it something else besides Taskmaster.
Well, but did you? I mean, I don't know. I didn't really have a problem with it. I didn't care. Taskmaster, not an A-list villain, and we'll probably never see Taskmaster again. Even though Taskmaster is not dead, I don't think it's going to be a major part of the MCU or anything. And Multi Gunman approves your shirt, by the way. You get 1,000 bonus points for the Nirvana shirt. I will tell you, I actually played at the same nightclub as Nirvana, with Nirvana, a place called Satyricon in Portland, Oregon. No joke, back in the 90s.
Kazoo band?
Huh?
A kazoo band?
A kazoo band. I was not in a kazoo band.
Well, I was just guessing.
No, the band I was in was actually called Palsy Slut. I will not tell you how we got our name. It's very offensive. But
I can imagine right now in my head, and it's
however, but we actually opened, we closed. Nirvana opened, but it was just kind of random order. Because nobody was, and of course they were awesome and we sucked, but it was kind of cool. So yeah, we hung out with Nirvana. Anyway, back to it. So Taskmaster, I didn't care. I thought it served the story. I didn't have a problem with it, and I understand why some people get worked up over it, but to me, is Taskmaster's gender really important? No. And the reason I say that
technically, they should have called the character Taskmistress.
I could see that, yes. You could make that argument.
That's the argument I'll go with.
Okay.
And hopefully that'll stop some of them from yelling that I'm woke.
And no, they're not. No, they're never going to stop that because you like the movie, so you're woke. It's automatic.
True.
So I'll give you that. The Taskmistress should have been the name, but then that would have given away the gender. The one thing I did not like, and this is just too much of a trope in Hollywood, is the big surprise that take off the helmet and it's a chick, right? I'm tired of that trope.
Well, I kind of suspected it from the way the character moved anyway.
Right. But it's just that's just a tired trope. By the way, let me say this. First act of the movie with the car chase. Holy crap, that was awesome. When Taskmaster was driving that armored personnel carrier, that was intense. I was like, they are screwed when the way that they were just plowing through traffic with that APC. I thought, oh, there's no way they're getting away. And that's the way you'd make a car chase, is you want to make it so that you genuinely feel like there's no way the heroes can escape. If you can generate that kind of feeling, you're doing it right.
Now, see, I was the opposite on that one.
Really?
I thought it would have been easier for them to get away from that because they're in the more maneuverable vehicle. They could have spun, went down alleyways, ducked here, ducked there, went in smaller confined areas, and they should have got away from them fast.
Well, I knew they were in a more maneuverable vehicle, but I'm just saying, like, the way that Taskmaster was driving was so aggressive that it felt like there was like they were just to me it felt like they were screwed. And I just like the way it was shot. I like the way that the fight scenes were choreographed very, very well. I think that the whole thing was done very, very effectively. And I agree, up until the point where they kind of broke the suspension of disbelief with the, like if I was doing CinemaSins for this movie, the last act of the movie, I'd be saying, she survives this. She survives this. She survives this. She survives this. She survives, for like the last 20 minutes of the movie. And it's like, why does she do that? A couple of times in between the she survives this. But yeah, overall, and I agree, John DeMarco, good action spy film overall. So I think we both agree, good film. Would you give it a out of 10 score? What would you give it?
6.
6? Really? I give Captain Marvel a 6.
I gave Captain Marvel a 4.
All right. Well, so I give Captain Marvel a 6. I will give this one a 7.5. But keep in mind, on my scale, just so you know, I don't know how you do things, but on my scale, a 5 means watching paint dry or watching this movie is a coin toss. A 6 means watching paint dry, watching this movie. Okay, watching this movie beats it out. So a 7.5 means this movie is a genuinely enjoyable experience. An 8 makes this movie a great experience. A 9 is like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. And 10 is a perfect film, which there's no such thing as a perfect film. All right, so there we go. So let's get back to...
Well, no. Wait a minute. We still have to talk about the end credits scene.
Oh, okay. The end credits scene.
Because that was... Now, they couldn't have done this if the movie had come out a few years ago. This was perfectly placed to be able to tie into the Hawkeye series.
Yes.
Because we had Julia Louis-Dreyfus, whatever the hell, from Seinfeld, show up again as she did in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
She shows up again to cause trouble. Now, there was a lot of people that I was listening to on other channels, how they wanted to argue the point, well, how would she even know that Hawkeye was the one that was there with Black Widow when she died? Very easy. This woman's in some government organization.
Right, she's high level.
That gets the paperwork, and I'm sure the Avengers, after everything on Endgame, had to fill out some stuff to explain what happened and what they did during all this time. So high-level government officials would know that Hawkeye was with Black Widow when she died to get the stone. That is how this woman is going to try to use the new Black Widow to go against Hawkeye in the series.
The question I have is why? I mean, that's what I want to know. What's the motivation to take down Hawkeye?
Well, I think... Now, this is just my guess. I'm not trying to over LDG this. But I think
Mephisto.
She's working with Ross. Yeah, I know. I think she's working with Ross. And they're trying to slowly get rid of all the older Avengers and put in people that will abide more to what they want.
I could kind of see that, but the problem that I have is that now, with Hawkeye, the way that Hawkeye misbehaved during the blip time, because remember, during the blip time, Hawkeye went all Ronin.
Yep.
And so he was running around killing people. And in fact, I would say that based on the way that Hawkeye was behaving during the blip time, he would be a prime candidate for Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character to recruit. Now, what may be a possibility is she attempted to recruit him because of his misbehavior, and he said no because he promised Natasha that he would, live a better life now that he's going to get his wife and kids back. And because of that, they want to get rid of him because he knows too much.
I don't think she would try to recruit him just on the fact that he's too close knit with the main Avengers. And they would want to clear as much of them out first.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm curious. I am very curious because I want a clear motivation. I hope that they make that. I hope they give us a good, clear motivation to why she wants Hawkeye going. Because that doesn't seem obvious to me.
But I got a feeling the whole Hawkeye series will be her going after him to try to avenge Natasha's death, and then she'll find out the truth from him, and then he'll recruit her to be an Avenger and the new Black Widow.
I think that makes sense. By the end of it, I think that she'll definitely turn that around. At least I hope so. But I don't know about being an Avenger because I don't know that the Avengers are coming back. I don't know if we're going to ever see the Avengers again.
Oh, I think we will.
And Mercer donated another $1 and says that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is trying to get her hands on Stark Tech. It will all lead to the Armor Wars film where the Stark Tech falls into the wrong hands. I think Armor Wars is a series, isn't it? I thought Armor Wars was a series. She wants to destroy the Avengers from within. I don't think they want to destroy the Avengers. I think the Avengers are done.
No, they're not done. You still got Banner.
Banner's not an Avenger. Remember, at the in Endgame, Banner wasn't an Avenger. He was off just doing his own thing. They had to get a team together to do the time heist.
But they all came back together at the end, which pretty much implies they're back together. So you're going to have the Hulk, you'll have Hawkeye, you'll have Wanda, you'll have Spider-Man.
I don't know. We'll see what they do, but I'm not convinced. I think that the new team of the MCU is going to be the Fantastic Four. And I don't think that the Avengers are necessarily going to be around.
Mark my words, they will be back.
And of course, Daniel's convinced that they will be around with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I don't think that's. I'm more and more convinced the more I think about it, that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is only going to appear in a couple of films and only as a cameo. I think we're going to see him in Deadpool and Multiverse of Madness. And in Multiverse of Madness, he is only going to be a cameo in one alternate reality. I do not think we're going to see him in the main timeline at all. So, I'm sorry, Daniel. That's just how I feel. Deadpool, of course, is not in the main timeline. He's in his own reality.
Yet. But they are putting him in this one.
Perhaps, but I don't think we're going to have Deadpool and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in the main timeline.
I got a feeling that they're going to use Deadpool as the new Stan Lee.
Like, have him be the cameo guy?
Yep.
And Dreamers Out There throws it a buck and says, Red Guardian has a plot hole. He's famous enough to get food and fan mail in prison. People know what prison he's in, but supposedly he was put undercover as a fake American family, yet his face is known from his exploits in the 1980s. Well, he was put in undercover. That was his exploits in the 1980s. He's famous after that. It would be like but he wasn't famous at the time. He was famous after the fact. That's not a plot hole. That's because he was famous. It would be like if someone was famous for being an undercover agent after they're an undercover agent. That does happen sometimes.
Oh, and now we have Captain Foley saying, I see boring people.
Oh, good to see you, Captain Foley. I see you too. Get it? Get it? Right back at you, buddy. So, speaking of by the way, Captain Foley, so since you're here, we were talking earlier about the director, Matt whatever his name is, that's going to be directing the new Star Trek film in 2023. Do you think this is going to be a continuation of the Chris Pine Star Trek series, or do you think this is something totally different, like a Michael Burnham movie, or do you think it's a reboot of Next Gen? What do you think it's going to be?
Or do you think, like me, that it's never going to happen?
Yeah, we're just curious. Anyway, so let's move on to, and he's saying, yeah. Okay.
She loves you, yeah. She loves you.
All right, so either that or maybe Foley's cat is on his keyboard. That's a possibility. Anyway, so back to, okay, so let's talk about Loki. Speaking of the multiverse of madness, I think we just saw the beginning of the multiverse of madness. And in fact, I am absolutely certain we just saw the beginning of the multiverse of madness. What do you think?
Well, I definitely saw madness today with some of the people's reaction to it.
Oh, I did not see any reaction, so you got to tell me about. So first of all,
Bird of Prey. I'm going to start off with Bird of Prey 5's reaction.
Oh, really, Bird? Okay, yeah, okay. Tell me what was Bird's.
After the first 90 seconds, he said he was done with it. He was never going to watch another Loki episode for season 2 or nothing. And here is the reason why he gave.
Why?
Because it quoted Greta Thunberg in the first 90 seconds.
Really? Really? That was his excuse.
That was the beginning of the whole downfall for him, and he was...
Love it.
He was done.
I love it. You know the funny thing? My wife called it. Not on Bird specifically, but she was like, when they were playing those little audio snippets, she was like, oh, yep, people are going to be mad. Love it. All right.
Yep, Bird of Prey was the first one I heard that went off on that whole tangent. Yep.
All right, so
and then he didn't like how it ended, so he's done with it.
Okay,
he's done.
So what did he hate about the ending?
It didn't have any closure. It left it at a cliffhanger, and he don't know what's going on. So
that was done. The whole point, that the whole multiverse is fractured now.
I know it.
That was
I actually liked the episode.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I thought that, first of all, I liked the way they introduced Kang. And notice they introduced Kang without ever saying his name. And they, and in fact, you're not even, I was not 100% sure that was Kang until the last shot of the episode. And until we saw his statue in the TVA. And the reason, because I will tell you, when we saw his statue in the TVA, that was Kang right out of the comics.
And Thomas, I'm reading your comment.
Let's see.
I'm not ignoring you.
Yeah, we're not.
Like Thomas said he didn't really notice her voice. I didn't pay attention to all the jumbles. I just figured it was just blah, 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 radio, this, that, blah, blah.
I didn't catch everything that was said, but a few little snippets. Yeah, a few little snippets I did catch, and it's like, I did, there was various voices throughout history. And what I thought was interesting was they randomly mixed poignant poets. And also, like for example, they had Maya Angelou in there. They had Martin Luther King in there. But they also had, snippets from, like they had Steve Rogers in there saying, I can do this all day. And so stuff like that in there. And so they mixed in stuff from all the, from the MCU, intermixed with actual historical stuff. But when I heard a couple of the clips, and Mrs. Antricker says, oh, yeah, some of the people online, they're going to scream. They are just going to go completely nuts because there's like you were just saying. And So Bird just went nuts.
So you can tell the wife that Bird of Prey 5.
I will. I absolutely will.
Beginning.
And I'm sorry, Daniel. You know what? He who remains is Kang.
Yeah, he flat out said he was one of the Kang variants.
Right.
From
He Who Remains is the last Kang variant. That's the whole idea. And if you look at the statue, what he's wearing is Kang the Conqueror. That's who he is. And he even called himself the Conqueror. So Bird of Prey went nuts. What else? What other reactions did you see?
Oh, there was the reactions to people going nuts on whether the TVA was reset or if it was a different timeline TVA. They were. It's like, dude, we'll get the answers in season 2.
Right. Well, they didn't recognize. Yeah, they didn't recognize Loki. So I would say they were reset.
I would think they were reset because of certain things that happened during the episode.
Right.
When the one judge took off and said she was going to look for...
And Thomas, the link you sent me, let me take a look here.
And yes, Mercer, Kang is a Klingon with...
Yeah, about the one who remains. Yes, I did look at that.
Kang is also a Klingon, but they're totally different Kangs.
Yeah, Kang the Conqueror is a time traveler in Marvel. And he's not a character that I've really liked all that much in the comics, but I like the way they're portraying him in Loki. And I also like the fact that basically the way that they're doing him here is that you kill him and guess what? You're just going to get another variant of him. And so that means that they can bring him in to any movie they want, to any show they want, and they can kill him, and doesn't matter. They can just bring him back whenever they want because he'll just be another variant. And so I do like that. I think that that's kind of an interesting thing about his particular character, is that because of the nature of his time-traveling tendencies, no matter what you do, you can't really permanently kill him.
Now, see, everybody's trying to figure out if it's a new universe or if it's just a reset. I kind of look at it this way. The TVA is supposed to be set in its own little pocket dimension type thing.
Right.
So I make it, the TVA is Marty McFly. And Marty McFly went from the future back to the past, and then when he came back to what was supposed to be his present, it was different.
Yeah. And
that's how I kind of look at it.
Right. And Thomas, to answer your question, do I think they merged the two comic book characters into one? Marvel does that a lot in the movies. If you look at the MCU in general, they have, throughout the MCU, they constantly will take and merge multiple characters into one if it serves them to do so. And so yeah, I do. I think that to when people, if you want to argue, well, it's He Who Remains, not Kang. No, it's both. It is, so it's Kang.
And I got a $3 donation.
Oh, well, very cool.
From Camel Toe Harris. and it says, why is there no link to this Streamlabs in the support the streams section? Because it's not my stream. Yeah. That's why.
But you can support Deej that way if you know his link.
Which you can find my link in any of my videos.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
There you go.
And hopefully, and you know what I do need to do. I don't think it's in there, but I need to make sure to put a link to your channel in my description.
Well, no, wait a minute. We've got it. There was a slight change.
What's that?
Because I actually have to go to work in the morning, so I postponed the start of my 48 hours till 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
You bastard!
No, I'm still going tomorrow night, 7 p.m. till Saturday. I'm still doing the 48 hours. I just had to work. We're trying to get some work squeezed in between all these rainstorms that we're getting.
Nice.
So I have to run out in the morning, get some work, take a short nap, and then start my 48 hours.
I want to know exactly are you going to keep a timer going for the entire time?
Oh, no, there's no timer. It's just going to be continuous streaming. I'll shut one stream down every 10 hours or so and immediately start up a new stream. So I have the entire thing on YouTube for people to watch.
Now, during mine that I'm going to do next week, I will take let's see, because I'm planning on starting it right after our show. So I'm going to count our show as kind of the beginning of it. But I'm going to, but after, because our show's on Wednesday, so never mind, it won't be affected. I was thinking my Wednesday morning Bible study, but that's Wednesday morning, so it won't be affected because Thursday morning isn't Wednesday morning. I was like, that would be going backwards in time, so not forwards in time. So never mind. So yeah, so I'm going to try to beat you.
Well, see, that's the thing. You don't know if you can beat me until I'm done.
Right.
Because
that's why I want to know exactly how many hours you get in.
The end of my 48 hours should be Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Right.
But if I go past that, that's where all the extra hours are.
But I don't want you to go past that.
Well, last time I went like 48 hours and 40 minutes, so...
Right, but this time I want you to go like 32 hours.
This one could go 50 hours.
No, I don't want you to go 50 hours. I'm an old man, buddy. Hey,
you're only 3 years older than me, so suck it up, Cupcake.
And I've just had 2 freaking surgeries, so,
Okay, I have a heart condition.
Oh, don't try to... You want to start comparing health problems? We'll start comparing health problems.
And I'm diabetic.
Oh, poor guy.
And I'm 50 now, so...
Oh, you poor guy. Oh, 50. That's so cute.
And I'm not the crazy one that's going to be actually eating hot food.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I got my cheese balls right here. I'm very excited about the cheese balls.
I may hurry up and go get some gummies, though, for mine.
Some fun gummies?
Fun gummies.
I'm so jealous that I can't get fun gummies.
Maybe if I take a trip down south, I'll smuggle you some.
I tell you, well, let's get back to Loki, and then we can talk about fun gummies another time. But yeah, I do want to. At some point, I want to hang out with you a little bit on your long, whatever stream. But anyway, so with Loki, I think that the people that are complaining about it complain that it didn't have enough action, that it was mostly 2 guys sitting around talking. That I guess, some people would complain that it didn't have really resolution, that it ultimately broke the universe rather than fixed anything. But that's kind of the point, because it started out with the universe in complete order, and Loki is a bringer of chaos, and that's exactly what we saw. And let's see. Thomas says, I don't think it was a reset. Mobius and the woman looked confused about what was happening in the timeline. I think they said it couldn't fix what was happening. Well, they couldn't fix what was happening at the time, but that was... they were talking about all the branching. And here's out there. I'm so sorry. I missed your last donation because I was talking so much to Deej. It says, I think in the end, the reason we saw the TVA change is because someone from another universe went to our past and changed things. We can't change our own history. We can only change other realities. It means others can change our reality too. Well, keep in mind, we're talking about the TVA changing. The TVA is kind of outside of, the TVA is its own reality.
And you got to take in consideration there was all other things going on in the TVA time, like the one TVA agent was showing other agents that they were all variants.
Right.
She was actually convincing other time agents not to do anything, to leave things alone.
And so the interesting question about that is, what are the TVA agents thinking now, after the TVA's been reset? Like,
it looked like half of them were running around trying to fix things, and the other half were just sitting there saying, no, leave it alone.
Right. And I'm thinking that what's going on is that I think that what Kang said is ultimately true. I think a more malevolent Kang has taken over. And
are you sure it's Kang, though, that took over and not the judge?
Well, because of the statue of Kang, yes. Because notice the statue of the Keepers of Time are gone, and now there's a statue of Kang there. And so I think that the judge is now Kang's lover, which is what she was in the comics. And so I think that Kang is directly controlling the TVA now.
Because Kang sent her what she needed to know, not what she wanted to know. And as she left, she went off carrying that briefcase, saying that she was going to go find her free will.
Right. We don't know where she went. And Death by Rabies throws $3 in there. Thank you so much, with just a fist bump from a pair, which is so weird, getting a fist bump from a pair, but I always appreciate a fist bump from a pair, even if it's weird.
Well, if you're going to get a fist bump from some fruit, it might as well be a pear. Absolutely.
We have a pear tree in the backyard, but the pears on it aren't really edible yet. Tom says it was reset. Why they were running around in a panic because of the fact that the timeline was branching all over the place. And the reason the timeline was branching all over the place is because there was not a singular Kang at the end. The one who, what's it called? Now I'm forgetting the name of the character that Thomas was asking.
He Who Remains.
Yeah, He Who Remains. Because He Who Remains was killed, so there was not a singular agent that was basically controlling the timeline, and so the timeline was branching off, which means that each one of those timelines, and this is the big secret that the TVA didn't know about, is that, you know how they had the red line that they had to desperately prevent? That red line was to prevent a variant Kang. That was the whole point. That's at least my understanding. I don't know if you got that from that, Deej, but the red line was to prevent a variant Kang from emerging, because a variant Kang would become a very dangerous thing to He Who Remains. So if we can prevent variant Kangs, then we can prevent these huge wars between these alternate realities that Kang was describing at the end of time. Well, now that time was branching all over the place because there was nobody at the end of time, and it was branching left and right, and there were all these Kangs. Guess what? We're going to have this big reality war going on, and everything's going to fall to crap, and everything's going to go to crazy and everything. Oh, and guess what? We got a movie coming up called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Wonder what that's going to be about. Stay tuned.
And we also have Kang showing up in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah, so, I think Kang is going to be... And by the way, again, I don't remember if I said it on this stream, but I did say it in my earlier stream today on Twitch. But what a great choice for an actor. This guy, if you haven't seen Lovecraft Country, this guy was the lead in Lovecraft Country. This guy's got some acting chops. I mean, the guy that they have playing Kang, he can pull this off. So They got a great guy playing Kang. We didn't get to see much from him in this episode, but he's got it in him to really pull this off. Because Kang, if they're going to have him play a bunch of different variants of himself, you need someone with some range, and this guy's got it. So I'm really excited about what they're going to do with him. If he's going to be in Doctor Strange, he's going to be in Ant-Man 3, which are going to be radically different types of films. He's probably going to be showing up in all sorts of stuff in the MCU for the next, 5-10 years at least. Not to mention, I'm sure he's going to be in Loki season 2.
And we may even get to see a brief bit of him in Spider-Man.
Yeah, No Way Home.
Yeah, because that's going to deal with the multiverse. So
right, so multiverse is going to be a huge theme throughout Phase 4 from the looks of it. And so even though I know that officially Black Widow was the official kickoff of Phase 4, I think Loki was really the beginning of Phase 4. And honestly, because WandaVision, I think, kind of showed you what Phase 4 was going to be about. But Loki was the real kickoff. Loki was, okay, we're breaking the universe into, we're breaking the multiverse, if you will. And so now the rest of Phase 4 is, we got to fix the multiverse. And so, okay, everybody, let's figure out a way to fix the multiverse. And I think that it's going to take a brain like Reed Richards to actually get it done.
Or duct tape and Gorilla Glue.
Well, duct tape, Gorilla Glue, and a brain like Reed Richards. And that's why I think Fantastic Four is going to be absolutely necessary. Please bore? Phase bore? Phase bore? Phase bore? Phase bore? Come on, buddy. We're talking about the freaking multiverse. What is your problem? And Thomas has said, I'm too stupid trying to get my point. You're not stupid at all, Thomas. But if it was reset, why is the timeline still branching? Because the TVA may have been reset at one point, but that doesn't. But if there's, but as soon as Sylvia killed the one who remains, then there was no regulator to prevent the timeline from branching. So the timeline's going to keep branching and branching and branching and branching, no matter how much the TVA tries to prevent it.
Well, not only that, but the judge is gone too. So
right. So we got
multiple levels.
So the variants are going to be popping up everywhere. Rise of the heroines of the MCU. Whatever.
Hey, I'll be the first one to call it out if it's overboard.
That's the thing. If the MCU, first of all, I don't care about the gender of the characters, right? So, Black Widow was a fun movie. Was Black Widow a mostly female cast? Yes. You know what? Hey, newsflash, Black Panther was a mostly black cast, and I like that movie too. So what?
No, was it?
Yeah. I know. Shocking, but yes, the Black Panther movie only had one white main character. It was, everybody else was black. Thomas says, "I surrender." Surrender to who? You can't surrender. Loki will need Doctor Strange to help to return to his TVA. Now, there's not more than one TVA. There's only one TVA.
As far as we know.
Yeah, I don't think there's multiple TVAs. I think there's only one. There can be only one. But I don't think that, even though, so there have been, keep in mind, correct me if I'm wrong, Deej, but Black Widow marks the 24th MCU film.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I lost count.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think Black Widow marks the 24th MCU film. Black Widow marks the second MCU film to have a female lead. So can we please get, so once the number of female-led MCU films crosses the 50 percentile mark, then you can talk to me about the MCU. All right?
Right now it's only 1/12.
Yeah. So once we're at 50-50 and still climbing, then we'll talk. All right? But unless the next 20 films in a row are all female-led, you got nothing.
And the only one I can say coming up that's all female-led will be the Marvels.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think that one's going to do very well.
No.
So, because I think the only reason Captain Marvel made a lot of money was because it was a follow-up to Infinity War. And it's going to be interesting. And honestly, I think that the Marvels will be a genuine test of the brand name of Captain Marvel. Because the first Captain Marvel film was, okay, it came off right after Infinity War, and people were like excited because it's the follow-up to Infinity War. The Marvels will be the follow-up to Captain Marvel. And so will people be excited to see it? And the answer is probably going to be no. And it's interesting because it's the follow-up films that really show the excitement generated by something. And that's why, like, you can see what happened with Star Wars. The Last Jedi was a huge success. Solo was the first Star Wars film to lose money. And Solo was the follow-up to The Last Jedi. And so that's that's how you gauge the success of a film, is how its direct follow-up does. Multi-Gunman says, Andy Drucker, how long did it take you to grow your hair that long? Well, let's see. How long have I been streaming on YouTube? You can watch my, watch my hair grow by just going back and watching all my videos. I don't know, man. I have not cut my hair at all for a couple of years. And so then that's how long it is in a break.
With what's coming up for Marvel movies, I don't think Shang-Chi is going to do
Shang-Chi.
I don't think that's going to do that.
I think Shang-Chi, well, it's going to be interesting to see how Shang-Chi does in China. Because it will probably be one of the more successful Marvel films in China. Tom says, can I answer you? What did you say? So then, can there only one Kang in charge? If so, why didn't he send the TVA after? So then there's only one Kang. Only one Kang. There's only one Kang in charge of the TVA, but there are lots of Kangs warring to try and take over. So there's Kangs fighting Kangs that are trying to take over the TVA. That's the problem. And remember, Kang described it in that episode where he was showing the Kangs fighting Kangs to try and be the one. That can be only one. Anyway, and no, my last haircut was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And let's see.
I don't see the Eternals doing that well.
The Eternals? Well,
I don't see it doing that good.
Right. So back to Shang-Chi. I think that last trailer for Shang-Chi, it shows a little more coolness than the first trailer did, because it shows more superpower-y type stuff. I think Shang-Chi has some potential. I think Shang-Chi will do well in Asia. I'm guessing Shang-Chi will probably do worldwide box office in the 500 to 800 million range. I don't think it's $1 billion movie, but I think it'll make money. As far as the Eternals, it's a real crapshoot. I mean, because that first trailer, it looks pretty, but I got no idea what the movie's about. I mean,
I think the big one is going to be Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Just
Spider-Man
for
No
the
Way
fact-
Home's going to make a buttload of money. That's going to be
that's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially when they start showing people Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, when they start showing people Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, you know, when people start seeing the three Spider-Men next to each other, and
Jamie
you know,
Fox, Electro.
you know, if they and I don't know what they're doing as far as all the Spider-Men, you know, that they're bringing in. If they really, really want to blow people's minds, bring in Nicolas Cage as the noir Spider-Man. Oh, that would. Could you imagine? I would love to.
Yeah, but just with Jamie Foxx's Electro, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock,
Yeah.
William Dafoe's Norman Osborn, right there, boom, instant hit. That thing's going to be $1 billion, easy.
Oh yeah, I think that movie is going to make a ton of money, and it's going to be, man. I don't know how they're going to pack that much story into one film, and so, and I think Kang's going to probably show up in there too. So, and how are they?
I don't think Kang will show up in it unless it's just a very brief cameo or end credit. I don't think he'll be in it.
Let's see. Multi Gunman's asking us both. I like what you two are doing with this live stream series. Better, way better than watching the always negative all the time live streams from the Phantom Menace. Well, thank you. That's kind of why we're doing this. This is, you know, even though, man, I just realized that it's all cut off. It's like I just realized like it's just talking crap about crap. It's supposed to say talking crap about crap, but yeah, the whole idea of this is to kind of be the not Phantom Menace. You know, we're just kind of talking about stuff, and we're being real about it. When stuff sucks, we're going to say it sucks. When stuff's awesome, we're going to say it's awesome. That's simple, right? It's not that complicated. Stuff is good out there, people, and stuff sucks. You know, but it's not all good and it's not all bad. And honestly, there's, you know, like right now the MCU is not crap. Sorry to you know, geeks and gamers and stuff, but the MCU is not crap. And of course, Thomas says Multi Gunman is woke for saying that. That's what drives me crazy, is just the fact that it's so unpopular now to just talk real, you know. That's annoying.
And then the next biggest one will be Doctor Strange.
I think Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness will probably do well. I just want to know, and Death by Rabies, the Eternals about ancient aliens. I just want to know what the Eternals is about. What's the story? Give me something other than, okay, you got the cool sword thing, which does look cool, but give me something about the story. You know, give me a little bit of the story. And tell me what it's about. Because right now the Eternals just looks like it's a pretty movie. That's all I know. Resolute says the MCU has been crap since Phase 2. Wow, couldn't disagree more with you on that. You know, so, but hey, I love you, Resolute, but I just think you've been, you know, smoking something that's not legal in Tennessee, but is legal where Deej lives.
Yep, in Illinois.
Yeah. Is that where you are? You're in Illinois?
Yep.
Oh, you're not that
north of you.
Yeah, you're not that far from here.
I'm only like 7-hour drive.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about taking a little road trip to Illinois just so that I could have a pain-free weekend. Seriously, I've been thinking about that.
You will hit Southern Illinois, which
Southern Illinois is just a few hours from here.
Yeah, and Metropolis is right down there, so you can go see the giant Superman statue.
Wait, where's Metropolis? It's in Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois.
Oh, I
And
didn't.
they've got a giant Superman statue in town.
I did not know that. Let me take a look here. Let's see. Murfreesboro to Metropolis, Illinois. All right, so yeah, it's a 2 hour and 50. It's not even a 3 hour drive to Metropolis from my house. How far is it for you to get to Metropolis?
About 5 hours.
Wow, I did not know that. So I did not know that. So Metropolis. That's stupid. Though. I bet it's Metropolis like some little rinky-dink town.
Yeah, it's not that super big, but they had to put up a giant Superman statue.
Yeah, I thought about like just going to Illinois, find some place where so I can have a pain-free weekend, because I'm so tired of
And the thing
things.
with Illinois, being out of state, you have to show your license, but you can still buy half of what an Illinois resident could.
Right, which just means
So
you have to make
still...
twice as many trips.
Yep.
What's the legal limit to purchase?
Oh hell! I don't know. The last time I went, I spent about $240 and wasn't even at the limit.
Dang.
I had all kinds of stuff.
So it's a pretty liberal limit, then I take it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice size limit.
Yeah, I know that in Oregon, I mean, like when we were there, it wasn't like we never had to worry about hitting the limit. Well, funny thing is, and I'll tell you, it's I walked in there and I was like, "Hey, so do you guys have like a discount if it's your birthday?" Right? And it wasn't.
No.
Wait. Here's so I walked out and said, "Do you guys have a discount like if it's your birthday?" And the guy's like, "No." I said, "What if my birthday was 420?" And the guy goes like, "If your birthday was 420, I'd give you something for free." So I whipped out my ID. And he's like, okay, you got me. So he gave me a little sample.
Yeah, I went in on my birthday, and they seen that I was turning 50, and they decided to sing happy birthday to me, which was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, but not when you actually have 420 for your birthday. Come on.
Well, I know, but I had to be born 4 days later, so I couldn't have it 420.
And let's see, what was that one?
The next upcoming Marvel movie I'm a little worried about is the Thor one.
Oh, Love and Thunder?
Yep.
I
think it'll still make a ton of money, but I'm kind of leery on that one.
Love and Thunder. Okay, so here's my thing on Love and Thunder. It's being directed by Taika Waititi. And Taika Waititi did make Ragnarok, which is the best Thor movie and the best Hulk movie. And so, given that, I'm not going to judge it until I see it, despite the rumors running around it. And
I'm not gonna completely judge it. It just makes me nervous.
No, I get that, but my problem with because here's we've seen all the stuff that people from the Fandom Menace have been saying about Black Widow, and notice a lot of the complaints have been people even now after the movie comes out and people saw it and they see it's not bad and they'll say, well, I just don't like that they tried to push it in all the marketing that it's like this feminist movie, and it's like, no, that's not the marketing. That's like articles from people that aren't working for Marvel.
Yeah, that's just people with their own damn agenda.
Yeah, that was and it's like like that tweet you sent me. That was freaking IndieWire. That's not freaking Marvel. That's not Marvel pushing a feminist agenda. That's feminist pushing a feminist agenda using Marvel as a tool to do it. And so it's really freaking annoying when people can't tell the difference.
I will say they do have a great lineup for who's in Thor.
And you know, and I'll tell you, I'm not thrilled about the fact that Natalie Portman's coming back after she dissed Marvel so much, but you know.
Yeah, but they got Christian Bale, Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista.
Oh yeah, good cast, but you know, and Christian Bale's as remind me, who's he playing again? The
Gore.
Huh?
Gore,
yeah.
the God Butcher.
Yeah, that's right. Which I'm trying to picture Christian Bale in that role, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, people said the same thing as trying to figure out Christian Bale as Batman, and look how he did there.
Now, you and I could argue about that one a little bit.
Well, yeah, but I still say he did a decent job.
I'm not wearing a hockey pad.
Way better than Val Kilmer.
I liked Val Kilmer, but I mean, I'll agree with you if you want to start talking about
way better than what's his other face.
Yeah, what's his other face?
Yeah, I can't even remember. I can see his face, but I can't remember his damn name.
Okay.
I think he was the Batman actor, Val.
See, now I'm not gonna even. I know exactly what you're talking about, but now I'm not gonna even help you just because I like watching you squirm.
I'm not gonna squirm.
I'll even help you. Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was just horrible. So it's like,
oh yeah, he was the worst. No, but I'm not a big fan of Bale as Batman, but. I will say this. I think that with Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi has earned to me a little bit of trust based on what he did with Ragnarok. So, yes, Thomas, we're talking about George Clooney, but I didn't want to help him. I didn't want to help him out.
Clooney.
But anyway, I'll trust Taika Waititi to a point. I'm not going to judge the movie till I see it. I don't think that the movie's just going to be, it's female Thor! You know, I think that in all probability, we're just going to see female Thor for a second. I don't think it's going to be the whole movie. And if it turns out that the whole movie is just female Thor and girl power, rah, 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 then I'll sit here and say, guess what? The movie sucked. And that'll be the end of it. You know, and I'll say, well, it's too bad. Thor had a great run. As in, he had one really good movie. You know, that was... let's see. Daniel wants us to talk about Black Superman. Look, I'm not going to speculate about Black Superman until they actually make a Black Superman movie. If they make a Black Superman movie, then we'll talk about Black Superman.
And yes, Richie Poole, Adam West is the best Batman.
Wow, you're a sick man. I will say this: I think Adam West was the best mayor of Gotham in the Batman animated series. Let's see. Oh, if it isn't the Off Brothers, Jack and Jerk. Oh wait, that's Deej. Says Darren.
Michael Keaton was the best movie Batman.
No, I disagree. I think I actually liked Ben Affleck as Batman.
Now, see, I put Ben Affleck as my number 2.
Yeah, I put Ben Affleck as my number 1. I put Keaton as my number 2. So we're close then, at least as far as...
And which I can't wait to see Keaton reprising as Batman.
I'm actually very curious about that, too. If they ever get... You know, if DC can ever get off their collected asses and get some movies produced. And Resolute says the biggest red flag with Love and Thunder is him paying off Portman to come back. She guaranteed to have been given some bad stuff to placate her. We'll see what they do with Portman. I'm not thrilled about her coming back. I agree with you on that, Resolute. But we'll see what they do. There's also the possibility, and I would not put this past them, because keep in mind, Marvel does have balls when dealing with actors. And I would not put it past them to say, oh, sure, we'll shoot all these great pro-feminine scenes and then put it on the cutting room floor. I would not put it past them to do that. So, and Cinnabon says Andy Tricker hates women for some reason. Are they going to make Captain Thor Wolverine played by Jodie? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Adam West was best mayor of whatever the name of the stupid town from Family Guy is. I don't watch Family Guy. Daniel likes Val Kilmer as Batman. I do too. Darren says the best mayor of Gotham was Nestor how do you say that name? Carbonell. Come on, as Batman Well as the mayor of Gotham. That is kind of funny that Batman Well was the mayor of Gotham. But come on, I like having Adam West there. Daniel's told you like 100 times they are making Flash. I know Daniel's told me 100 times they're making Flash. That doesn't mean, Daniel's told me a million times they're making Flash. But until they actually make the freaking movie, it's good. It's a little, I've also been told on very good sources for the last 2.5 years that Kathleen Kennedy is being fired. Jane Foster is 100% necessary for Love and Thunder. I don't care. And Daniel says, can't wait for Val Kilmer back as the Batman. And who is the best Alfred?
I say the Alfred from Gotham, Sean Pertwee.
Sean Pertwee, I like him as Alfred.
I still wish that he would somehow get into Doctor Who and play his dad's third Doctor role.
But I gotta say, I really, oh man. I really like Alfred from the Batman, the Batman animated series. I also, it's funny because me and Mrs. Antricker have been rewatching all the Batman animated shows, which is funny because I actually like the Batman better than Batman the Animated Series, even though I know everybody worships Batman the Animated Series, but they kind of forget that show wasn't that good. It's just that Mark Hamill was really good on that show. Like, Mark Hamill turned in a, Oscar-worthy performance as the Joker on that show, and that's what everybody remembers. Everybody forgets that the rest of that show was kind of a pile of hot garbage. And when you look at The Batman, it was a much better show. But, unfortunately, it was a different Joker. It was an interesting Joker, but it was a different Joker. Yeah.
And I'm sticking with Sean Pertwee as the best Alfred.
And so John DeMarco says Ephraim Zimbalist from Batman the Animated Series. He was good. He was definitely, and he just had all the sick burns. That's the thing. Oh, I see that we need the dry cleaning done today. Kevin Conroy was really good. I will give you that. Kevin Conroy was great voice actor.
Yeah, they did him dirty in that crossover series on the CW. I did not like what they did.
I'm sorry, Darren. Go back and rewatch the. Me and Mrs. Antricker just rewatched the entire series, and it's like it really wasn't that great. I'm sorry, it's overrated. It is seriously overrated. No, I never watched the old black and white serial for Batman. I just can't get past the floppy ears. So
I actually have that on my hard drive.
Yeah, I tried to watch it, and I was like, yeah, no. I couldn't get past the costume.
Just like I had the old Superman series with George Reeves.
Yeah. And the Batman, what you can argue about the Batman was definitely a reinterpretation of a lot of the characters, but and some people don't appreciate that kind of thing because it wasn't 100% true to the comic books. But I liked what they did with some of the characters, like Joker in the Batman was more like the Beast from X-Men. The Penguin was also a very visceral fighting kind of character, as opposed to just, basically Batman would walk in and, lay him out with one punch. So, and whereas in, Batman the Animated Series, like I said, it's not the worst show. It's not a horrible show, but I think it's overrated. Groundbreaking, if you say so.
And nobody's bringing up Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe because it sucked. At least, I mean, look, I understand. You can make a case for the good things about Batman the Animated Series. Kevin Conroy was awesome. There are some great performances throughout the series. Granted, there are some cringeworthy performances. There's your girl power episodes, which are like, I'm sorry, you have that one episode where like Batman's on vacation, so Supergirl and Batgirl are gonna take care of Gotham, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is like right out. This is like that scene from Avengers Endgame for 30 freaking minutes. And it was, and guess what? It's going to be Poison Ivy and Catwoman against, yeah,
girl power.
Yeah, it was just horrible. And yeah, I actually did like that Mr. Freeze too. I think that's really what made Batman the Animated Series a standout. Was the fact that the voice acting on that show was so damn good. And that's what made it stand out for so many people. It wasn't just Mark Hamill, I shouldn't just, because Mark Hamill really was such a standout, but it was all of the voice acting on that show. Mr. Freeze was a great example. Kevin Conroy's Batman, of course. But then you got some very cringe-worthy stuff on there too.
And out of all the cringe-worthy CW shows, Superman and Lois is still going good.
I haven't watched that show because I'm just done with the CW.
Actually, this one is good.
I don't doubt it. But I'm not going to get hooked in on another CW crap show, because here's what happened. I got hooked in on The Flash. I got hooked in on Arrow. I got hooked in on Gotham. I got hooked in on a lot of CW stuff.
Gotham was not CW.
Or not Gotham. What's one? But there's been a bunch of CW shows that I've watched. And, and they kept... like the CW pattern, right? They start out with this as a really good show, and they hook you, and a few seasons later they turn into absolute crap, and you're like, oh, come on, that sucks now, but it's gonna get good again. It's gonna get good again. I swear, it's gonna get good again. It's really, and then you realize.
No, so far I like Superman and Lois because I like how they got Steel going in it.
And they drug Smallville out for 10 years. 10 freaking years they drug Smallville out.
Don't pick on Smallville.
I will, because they made me stick to it for 10 years.
I stuck with it for 10 years and I'm not bitching.
Well, you should be. I want my 10 years back, buddy. 10 years.
You can't have it.
And Indy Tiger, I'm sorry, Julie Newmar, no. Eartha Kitt is the Catwoman.
I'm actually going to agree with Anti-Trucker on this one. Eartha Kitt.
Man, I mean, nobody purrs like Eartha Kitt. Wow. And so, sorry, all of you are wrong. It is Eartha Kitt is the Catwoman, period. And any other answer is just objectively wrong. Why is it objectively wrong? Because I said so. Which I know is not what objectively means, but I don't care.
And besides, Adam West is the best Batman, because what other Batman are you going to see running around with a bomb over his head for 5 minutes trying to get rid of it?
Well, that's true.
Or have anti-shark repellent when a shark's holding onto your leg.
And Death Ray says, I know this is off topic, but Rob Zombie is remaking The Munsters. What do you think? I think it's going to suck. That's my opinion. Honestly,
this won't be the first remake of The Munsters that has sucked.
Yeah. And Rob Zombie doing The Munsters, that is just a mismatch made in hell. Rob Zombie, no. Rob Zombie needs to go back to the third level of hell from which he was spawned and just enjoy his time there like he does. Because he doesn't know how to make art. He knows how to make gore porn. And I'm sorry for people that like his work. I don't. And so, and I'm sorry, not sorry, but he just doesn't understand. Like, he doesn't understand subtlety. He doesn't understand, like, look at what he did to Halloween. Granted, there were elements of his Halloween that I thought were interesting, but he also completely ruined what made Halloween a masterpiece. And so, yeah, no thank you. He took, what was the number one thing that made Halloween an effective horror movie, and why John Carpenter's Halloween is still one of the greatest, if not the greatest horror film of all time, is what you do is you take you create a sympathetic character, a good, righteous character that you can identify with, and then you take that character and you put them in a harrowing situation so that you vicariously worry about that character, you care about that character, so that you are terrified for that character. That's the whole idea of horror. That's how horror works. That you are scared because you don't want that person to die. And so the whole idea is that you don't want Laurie Strode to die. And so that's what they did. What John Carpenter did in the original Halloween was that they set her up as being the good kid in her little clique. All her other friends were freaking sluts and all that, but Laurie was the good kid. She wanted to make a difference in her life. She wanted to be good. She wanted to do the right thing. All that stuff. But, Laurie Strode in the Rob Zombie remake was a freaking whore. And so they ruined it. Because Rob Zombie doesn't understand that. Rob Zombie is an idiot when it comes to horror. He just knows that, hey, let's put out some gore porn. That's what the kids want. So, sorry, that's my opinion of it. So, Rob Zombie doing The Munsters, oh yeah, that's a great matchup. And so Darren, when I say that he should go to hell, I don't mean that like quite in the literal sense. I mean that like he would enjoy it there because he's like into that kind of thing. And so he should go back to whatever rock he crawled out from under. Anyway, that's all my point there. But with the Rob Zombie version of Halloween, you didn't feel bad for Laurie. You were just she was just kind of there. Anyway, so anything else you want? And Deej is like, shut up, Andy Trekker, you idiot. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up here, Deej?
Just tune into my channel tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central as we kick off 48 hours of Deej. Another 48 hours.
Another 48 hours of Deej. Even though Deej was supposed to do his 48 hours starting tonight, he's actually starting
work.
So he's doing another 48 hours, postponed 24 hours. That's what you should call it. 48 hours, postponed 24 hours.
Well, work has to come first.
Not necessarily.
Well, if I want money, I have to go to work.
Well, yeah, but I think I'm not calling him a hack. I'm saying that I don't think he understands subtlety, and That honestly, I have yet to see Rob Zombie make a film with any subtlety. And show me where I'm wrong. I mean, honestly, show me where I'm wrong. And I will take it back.
No, Super Blubberpuss, it's not actually totally a telethon, but if people want to donate, they can during that time. And, you know, maybe it'll go to a new onesie. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, so there you go. So Deej is confirming that he's getting a new onesie, and that'll be exciting. So, and I think he's also volunteered that he's going to be naked, I believe, right?
No, not naked, but people have been asking if I'm going to wear onesies during this thing, and yes, there will be costume changes from time to time.
Right. But remember, it is confirmed that I am the chosen one. As you can see.
And Richie wants start times for other ones, so it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 Mountain.
Yes.
5 Western.
And Halle Berry never played Catwoman. Well, she played something that was called Catwoman, kind of. Why'd you have to mention that? Oh, man.
You see that? You mentioned it, and now we got to look at his stomach again.
It's actually, it's not quite my, it's like right here is where it is. But, you know.
It's still on your body.
But you see, at least I have enough tact to not, like, lift up my shirt and shake it around like you. See? I'm not doing that. I'm just sitting here showing you a nice close-up picture so it's relatively tasteful. Showing you that I'm the chosen one.
We know I'm not tasteful, so...
That's true. So, just remember, I'm the chosen one.
And I am the odd one.
That is true. Maybe we should change the name of the show to The Chosen One and the Odd One.
I don't know, maybe.
Something like that. I think we got something.
See, I am not the first person to lift up their shirt on one of your streams, though.
That is true, but you have done it more than any other person on one of my streams.
I don't know. I think Lore Reloaded might have that one beat out on me.
No, because Lore's he's done it on recordings. He's never done it live.
Okay, well,
Where,
still counts.
So you and Foley are the only ones who have actually done it live, and Foley only did it live once, and you've done it live the 3 times that I know. Twice. Okay, so you should do it again.
And you had to get fully drunk to do it, and I did it sober.
Right, because, yeah.
And Captain Foley, if you're out there, you're welcome to jump on my 48-hour stream and have some fun.
Yeah. Or by have some fun, he means get naked. That's...
No, not get naked. And I promise I will not mention anything like pepperoni pizza or pineapple pizza.
Yeah, what's your thing with pineapple pizza?
He hates it, and that's why he's fired me
Well,
twice.
that's a good thing.
But then after he fires me, the next day he rehires me for a higher percentage.
Because, you know, pineapple on pizza is disgusting.
No, it's not. It's good. I would rather eat pineapple on pizza than one of those 12 million Scoville things.
Well, for that, you can tune in next week. 2.2 million Scoville cheese balls. Yes, indeedy. And hopefully Lore Reloaded will be joining me for that. Speaking of Lore. And by the way, one thing that's kind of cool, I'm actually been texting with Lore. We're going to try to set up like doing some kind of joint live stream on a regular basis sometime in the future too, because, you know, just try to get more contacts in the nerd community, try and pull things together, because Lore's a good guy. Even if he is a little weird.
Well, here's an idea. Contact Lore and tell him that you both can come onto my stream and we'll do the contract signing for you two to get together and do a live stream together.
Well, I don't know about a contract signing, but maybe I can get him to show up on your live stream and prance around without a shirt on.
Well, he can leave a shirt on if I don't want him to feel uncomfortable.
Well, I was just thinking that might be a good way for you to, you know, get everybody off your live stream if you were trying to clear the room.
No, I have some pretty warped and twisted individuals. They'll stick around.
Okay. That's true. That's true. I was just thinking about your audience. Never mind. All right, guys. So with that, we're going to wrap it up, I guess. So I don't know if anybody else is streaming tonight, but have a wonderful night. Live long and prosper. Jolan True. And yeah, you got anything to sign off with or something?
Well, I can't do my sad dinosaurs, so I'll just say goodbye.
You know, why does your light keep coming up and down?
Because I keep flipping around to different tabs, checking things to make sure I didn't get any other donations or anything. So
don't you have like a light?
Well, I've got the overhead light I could have turned on, but I just wanted the light from the screen on me tonight.
Donate to him so he can get a frickin' desk light. Just do that.